Hey, 7th graders, it's Miss Ditmar here again. Today our learning target is adding fractions and mixed numbers. It's the first day today, so everything that we're going to work on has a common denominator today, alright? So when I'm adding fractions with a common denominator, all I need to do is write the sum of the numerators over the denominator. Alright, numerator is the top, denominator is the bottom. So if I've got 1/5 plus 2/5, I add the numerators. That's going to be the 1 plus 2. That gives me 3. And then I write that over the denominator. Alright, so keep that the same. So they're both fifths, 1/5 and 2/5 means I have 3/5. That's all there is to it. Alright, and I'll get a little bit more complex, but that's the basics. Alright, so watch these. If I have 1/5 plus 1/5, I have to add the numerators. So 1 plus 1 is 2, and it's 2/5. Now that's already simplified, right? If it's an improper fraction, change it to a mixed number. And to simplify. That one's already simplified. There's nothing more to do. How about over here? I've got 5/7 plus 5/7. So 5 plus 5 gives me 10, so I'd have 10/7. Well, now that's an improper fraction, right? So I'm going to have to simplify that and write it as a mixed number. So not just 10/7, but that is 1 3/7. Now that's simplified. That's my final answer. All right. So try these, and then we'll come back and check them in just a minute. Try these two. 2/3 plus 1/3 and 7/9 plus 5/9. Alright, let's review these. 2/3 plus 1/3. I have 2 plus 1 gives me 3, right? So 3/3, I'm not going to leave that as my final answer. That's not simplified yet. If I have 3/3, what is that? That's a whole. 3/3 is just 1. So 2/3 plus 1/3 equals 1. How about 7/9 plus 5/9? 7 plus 5 gives me 12, so I've got 12/9. Now, that's an improper fraction, so I have to change it to a mixed number. 9 goes into 12 once, with 3 left over, so that's 1 3/9. That's not simplified yet, though, is it? 3 goes into 3 and 9, so 3/9 can be simplified to 1/3. So I have 1 1/3 for my final answer. Alright, let's look at these. Now I've got mixed numbers that I'm adding. Couple steps here. I'm going to start out by adding the whole numbers. So 7 and 11. 7 plus 11 gives me 18. And then I'm going to add the fractions. 1/3 plus 1/3 is 2/3. So 7 and 1/3 plus 11 and 1/3 gives me 18 and 2/3. Alright, let's practice a couple more. 3 and 1/8 plus 2 and 5/8. So 3 plus 2 gives me 5. 1/8 plus 5/8 gives me 6/8. Now what do I still need to do here? Oh, I need to simplify, right? 6 and 8 are both divisible by 2. So 5 and 6/8 simplifies to 5 and 3/4. That's my final answer. Alright, down below, I've got 7 and 2/5 plus 1 and 4/5. Alright, so 7 plus 1 gives me 8. 2/5 plus 4/5 gives me 6/5. Alright, this one's a little bit different. I have a mixed number and an improper fraction in here. Ooh. So I'm going to change that 6/5 to 1 1/5. So I took my 8, and I'm going to add that to 6/5. 6/5 is really 1 1/5. Now I have 8 plus 1 gives me 9, and I have 1/5. So 9 and 1/5. Alright, now we've got some negatives. All right, negatives, I'm going to want to change these to improper fractions. All right, that's going to be the easiest way to go with negatives. So I'm going to put my negative back on. I'm going to look at 4 times 6 gives me what? 24 plus 3 is 27. So this is 27 fourths. But not a positive. This is negative 27 fourths. And then 4 and 1/4, that's 16. Plus 1 is 17. So negative 27 fourths plus 17 fourths. Negative 27 now plus 17. That's going to give me negative 10 fourths. And then I have to change this to a mixed number. So 4 goes into negative 10 negative 2 times, and I have 2 fourths left over. But that's not simplified yet. Negative 2 and 2 fourths is really negative 2 1/2. There's a lot to that one, right? First I had to make my fractions into improper fractions, and then I had to add negatives, and then I had to take an improper fraction and go back to a mixed fraction, and then simplify it. A bunch of steps there, all right? You know how to do all these steps. It's just a matter of putting them together. Let's look at another one. I have 6 and 4/9 plus a negative 3 and 3/9. So 6 times 9 is 54, plus 4 is 58. Right? 58/9 plus 9 times 3 is 27, plus 3 more is 30. So 58/9 plus a negative 30/9. Right, so 58 plus a negative 30 gives me 28/9. And then I have to simplify this, and I get 3 and 1/9. Right, a bunch of steps there. All right, try these 4. All right, try these, and then we will look at these in class. We'll go through them together again. So try those, and then one more slide. All right, what did you learn, or were you reminded of, and what questions do you still have?